Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Believe in best.
Tonight on our news, a slap on the wrist. Why one senator is condemning sex crime sentences. Plus, sexual consent. Why one clergyman says the age should be raised. And later, touched many. The mother of the country's latest traffic fatality victim speaks out. Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, Senate President Lachelle Adderley and opposition Senator Michaela Barnett Ellis both condemning what they call slap-on-the-wrist sentences for sexual offenders. Jasmine Brown tells us more.
Both women kicking off this morning's Senate session by addressing the controversial topic that has garnered renewed interest after a man was sentenced to 4 years in prison after impregnating a teenage girl. The Senate president says the issue does not need to be politicized, as she also called for revision of the law to better protect minors.
Societal laws must reflect societal values. What we value, we protect. The vulnerable in our society, from Grand Bahama in the north to Inagua in the south, need to feel protected, need to feel safe, and need to feel empowered. This is not about politics.
Last week, Acting Director of Public Prosecutions Franklin Williams spoke of highly sexualized young people when asked by a reporter to comment on criticism that the 4-year sentence was too lenient. While many said Williams' comments amounted to victim blaming, National Security Minister Wayne Munroe disagreed and argued that having sex with a person under the age of consent is not rape. Munroe told reporters that the girl consented to sexual intercourse, even though she was below the age of consent, which is 16 years old in the Bahamas. His comments ignited fury in many circles, with some calling for his resignation. Adderley insists efforts must be made to strengthen the response to incidents like this.
The law needs to protect the vulnerable even from themselves. Sexual predators should be locked behind bars for a significant period of time and fully rehabilitated.
Opposition Senator Michaela Barnett Ellis endorsing Adderley's contribution, saying the Bahamas has deep-rooted patriarchal gender stereotypes. Barnett Ellis also advocating for the passing of the Gender Violence Bill and specific amendments to the Sexual Offences Act when it comes to marital rape.
We don't need to be like Jamaica, where marital rape is a separate offense. An amendment to remove those 5 words, to delete Section 15, and to state that offenses apply irrespective of the nature of the relationship between the perpetrator and complainant, would remove the exception to the definition of rape that discriminates against married women.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, as the debate continues over the age of sexual consent, the Christian Council president is weighing in, saying it should be adjusted. Bethany McDermott reports.
As Cabinet considers raising the legal age for consent, Christian Council President Bishop Delton Fernando is supporting that view. He says 18 is a suitable age.
If consent and adulthood and the ability to do certain things in our country is 18, I would think something as serious as sex should be 18 also. So as pastor, as a father of a daughter and a son, I would say 18 is an appropriate age to give consent.
His comments shadow those of Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, who in a Facebook post said Cabinet is looking into the matter. He said the discussion about the age of consent should be followed by action on the part of lawmakers. Cooper previously called for the legal age of consent to be increased to 18 years of age. Cooper's statement came after National Security Minister Wayne Munroe was blasted for saying a 4-year sentence given to a man who impregnated a 14-year-old girl was too severe.
I really don't look to those people to give me my position on things. I really think as a father, if my daughter has been assaulted, raped, and impregnated, I expect the court to take its due course. The time and sentencing, I need more information to know how did it get to 4 years, because it really seems to be a short time for such a horrendous thing.
Fernando added that he doesn't believe in blaming the victim, but in protecting them. He stressed, though, that the church is doing its part.
I think the criticism of the church is always based on those who don't know what the church is doing in society. That while others are just waking up to this, most of the centers are manned by church people. We're trying to move Christian counseling to the next level, that the first person these incidents happen to, they come to the desk of pastors. And I know we don't get that information in John Pop because we are very good at being confidential, but I want to assure you that pastors are on the front line.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Meanwhile, Attorney General Ryan Pinder insisting in the Senate today there was nothing nefarious about the decision to drop the case against former Progressive Liberal Party Cabinet Minister Kenred Dorset. In 2017, Dorset was arrested and accused of abusing his office for financial gain in separate matters. Dorset was charged with extorting $120,000. In a statement, the DPP said star witness Jonathan Ash indicated his intention to not testify. At the time, Pinder commended the decision by the DPP. The AG once again addressing the matter as he responded to opposition Senator Reuben Ramming, who raised the issue in the Senate this afternoon.
There's nothing nefarious in the whole Shane Gibson matter. There's nothing nefarious in the nollie of Ken Dorset. I didn't make that decision.
In other news, police investigating a Sunday afternoon murder that left a man dead in the Blue Hill and Marshall Road area. Police Press Liaison Officer Superintendent Audley Peters says the incident occurred shortly before 4 p.m., taking the life of a man believed to be in his mid-20s.
On the arrival of our officers, they met a male lying just at the bottom of a staircase with wounds consistent with gunshots. Our initial investigations revealed that the male was a patron of a barbershop when a lone gunman walked in and discharged the firearm at him. The victim managed to walk down the steps and collapsed.
Superintendent Peters says EMS personnel arrived at the scene and pronounced the victim dead. Despite the high number of incidents, Peters says police are encouraged with their investigation so far.
We're encouraged with the reports we're receiving. We're acting on the information, and it's through partnership with the Bahamian people and capable guardians that we're going to take a hand on this criminal activity.
Mostly sunny skies in the capital today. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with the latest.
Thanks, Christina. Our first look at weather tonight is being brought to you by Nestum's Toddler's Shake, distributed by Lightburn Trading. Humid conditions outside our studios, temperatures in the upper 70s, partly cloudy skies. We did have a couple of isolated showers earlier, and we continue to see 1 or 2 more of those out there. Easterly winds at 6 miles per hour, and your feels-like temperature, a very humid 81 degrees. Frontal boundary stationary across the northwest Bahamas. Showers and thunderstorms associated with that boundary flaring up across the area. We did see a couple of those showers here in the capital earlier, prompted a severe thunderstorm warning for the Andros area. More showers and thunderstorms between Bimini and South Florida. We will continue to see 1 or 2 more showers later tonight through tomorrow. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, the country's latest traffic fatality victim is remembered. Plus, more than 36 new doctors get their white coats. And later in sports, local basketball gets underway. That's coming up when our news returns.
Got size at 6'5". Hi, this is Shamika.
The mother of a woman who died in a tragic car crash early Friday morning is speaking out. Jared Higgs tells us she's trying to stay strong for her family members and her daughter's friends.
The woman who died in a fiery crash on Milo Butler Highway is 28-year-old Antonique Letitia Cash, according to her mother, Philippa Cash.
She had a heart of gold.
According to police, on April 1st at 2 a.m., Cash's white Kia Cerato caught fire after she lost control of the vehicle and crashed into a medium, causing her car to overturn. She was burnt beyond recognition and was pronounced dead on the scene.
The way she went, That was only the outer core. But you have to check and see what was on the inside. That heart of gold, that purity, that soul.
Cash's 56-year-old mother described her as a caring person who touched many lives and loved unconditionally. She says that would explain why her daughter chose nursing as a profession. Much of her comfort as she grieves is coming from the outpouring of support, like a letter of condolences written in gold ink by the 12-year-old daughter of a family friend.
A 12-year-old, 12 years of age, Paris. And that gave me goosebumps.
Our News sat down with Cash at her home on Romer Street. She says she has to be strong for her other family members and her daughter's friends who are all grieving deeply. She says the initial blow was difficult, but she's leaning on her faith.
So I thank God for 28 years he gave me her. He only loaned me her. But she was his, not mine. I only borrowed her. Because it's him who gave her the breath. And it's him who take it away.
Cash's death is especially tragic, though. Just last June, her best friend, Shanard Thompson, also a nurse, died suddenly.
That was like frickin' frack, right? Her best friend, that one is unexplainable. They were like Siamese twins. That was a major impact on her, because she never really got over it.
The 28-year-old was also known as a hair braider, and her mother says she was slowly getting ready to get married and have a family. As she maintains a strong posture, deep sighs reveal a mother's pain. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
Thanks, Jared. Well, 39 doctors graduating from the University of the West Indies School of Clinical Medicine and Research. Since 1997, Prime Minister Philip Davis says 80% of the doctors who have graduated from the program have been Bahamian.
It takes a toll. Yet, every day, our doctors answer the call of duty, committed to doing their best, even when working in less than ideal circumstances. This is the noble profession that you are now entering. Today, you formally swear your oaths as doctors. It is a sacred oath as old as an ancient Greece itself. There's a level of trust and respect bestowed with the title of doctor that will follow you for the rest of your lives, even outside the context of your work.
Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, also congratulating the newest graduates. He says now more than ever, it is pressing that medical facilities across the country have a cadre of trained doctors, nurses, and other healthcare professionals.
Colleagues, we need your services and recognize that you have been under intense pressure during this pandemic. But despite it all, your hard work and dedication to your studies have made this day possible, and I am convinced that those same characteristics are what will make you, as a professional, do extremely well in the country. So as we celebrate your accomplishments, along with your families, friends, mentors, and colleagues, I want you to know that you are an important team member in healthcare delivery throughout the country.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When Our News comes back from the break, the Bahamas prepares for Census 2022. And later, Team Bahamas selected as prep for Carifta 2022 is underway. The details when Our News returns.
Got
This is our news. Welcome back. Nearly 1,000 enumerators were sworn in for the 2022 census ceremony today. The census is conducted every 10 years. The last census was conducted in 2010, revealing that Grand Bahama accounts for 15% of the country's population. Minister responsible, Michael Halkitis, stressed the importance of their role.
The Census Office has thoroughly planned and prepared this project, but you are the executors, the most important persons in the entire process. Therefore, its success rests in your hands. You are the ones who will be dealing directly with the householders. So it is critical that your approach is amicable, professional, and diplomatic.
And many hands made light work at the Hands for Hunger pantry on Carmichael Road today as corporate partners joined forces to stock shelves and stuff packages. Cable Bahamas Group of Companies President and CEO Franklin Butler and Alive CEO John Gomez got to work leading by example.
You know, you always say you got to lead by example. And with the leadership team actually being here in the trenches, if you wish, working shoulder to shoulder with Hands of Hunger, just to show them that we're in this with them all the way.
Many people don't know, but we give free infrastructure to Hands for Hunger to support the work that they do. So all of their telecommunications infrastructure are provided from Cable Bahamas, whether live or rev. And so today we thought, how else can we have an impact? What else can we do in terms of community being a pillar of our organizations? And so we volunteered as executives in our respective departments to not just write a check, but to be present. And I think that makes a big difference.
For Butler, it reminded him of his early days packing bags, but it's part of a larger mission.
This is really, a reminder to all those out there that you may be packing today, but you never know what tomorrow holds. So nothing in life is wasted. Every challenge you go through, when I used to pack on Blue Hill Road and do the stuff that I did, I never thought in a million years I'd be doing this to support the community in the way that I'm doing it.
Hands for Hunger Executive Director Keisha Ellis says the help in the pantry is invaluable.
This makes a world of difference to us and our clients. It really helps knowing that, okay, we have a week of food covered, and on top of that, we have a week's worth of hands to help us with all the stuff that's going on.
This week, corporate partners will help the pantry to feed its 500 families.
You're going to see some hands working here. You're going to have individuals starting at the top. Lead by example and getting involved and helping here at the pantry.
Hands for Hunger, they do a great work in feeding the community, so we just want to assist with that effort, and I think this is going to go a long way.
At any given opportunity where we know that we could provide a helping hand to those that are in need, I would think that anybody that has the ability, that has the worth, will be looking to do things like this to help out.
We've always been a partner with Hands for Hunger. When you see those vans driving around, they're always powered by Shell fuel. And for us, we wanted to make that extra extension and connection. We know persons are really reeling during this time. It's really hard. Some persons are out of work and laid off. So we want to go that extra mile.
If you or someone you know is in need of help, visit handsforhunger.org/help to sign up for assistance from Hands for Hunger. Well, the Bahamas Carifta track team selected for Jamaica. Meanwhile, local basketball resumes play. Here's Marcellus Hall.
3, 2. All right, thanks a lot, Christina. Welcome to our sports, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. It's been a minute, actually 2 years, since our Carifta athletes had a chance to take to the field of competition, both in swimming and in track and field. Well, that long hiatus has ended. Following this past weekend's Carifta trials, it seems as if the teams are ready to hit the field once again. Following an intense 2 days of competition, the B3A's Carifta trials coming to a close on Saturday afternoon over at the Thomas C. Robinson Stadium. Yesterday, team officials coming together to ratify the squad that will be headed to Jamaica to take part in the Carifta Track and Field Championships after a 2-year hiatus. Looking at Team Bahamas now, your under-17 girls, as well as the under-17 boys, under-20 girls, and under-20 boys. Sophia Higgs named as team manager, with the head coach being Luther Roll, assisted by Derek Wells. The team will leave town next week on the 14th for competition, which begins on the 16th of April. On to some basketball news now, where the New Province Basketball Association back in action following a long break due to COVID-19 as well. Taking a look at some of the action from the course of the weekend. With action taking place, the Asphalt Maintenance Pirates. They took down your Essential Store Giants. Well, actually lost to the Essential Store Giants 120-82. That game, first one of their series. Meanwhile, on the Division I side of things, Commonwealth Bank Giants, they beat the Breezes High Flyers in Division I play 92-85. More games taking place over the course of the weekend. We'll give you details on those coming up a little bit later on. And there it is. You look at sports here on this Monday. I'm Marcellus Hall. Back to you, Christina.
Thanks, Marcellus. Still to come on our news, the week ahead in weather, and later, how the work of a new group of chaplains is expected to touch the lives of many. Stay with us.
Got size at 6'5". Hi, this is Shamika.
Welcome back to our news. Nearly 2 weeks after restrictions on church gatherings were eased to allow them to operate at 75% capacity, Bahamas Christian Council President Delton Fernandez says he's hopeful the percentage will increase to 100% in time for the Easter season. The Christian Council President attributes relaxed restrictions to the drastic decrease in daily COVID-19 cases.
The government has been consistent in what they promised us. We went to 75% because if everything held safe, we would shift to that. And Easter is the period when we are to go to 100% if the number remains safe. I see there was a fluctuation. This might have been the first week or the second week we were over 10. I think that's still a good hour, and the rate of infection is still low.
Meantime, 25 new chaplains are about to take up a new mandate. We'll tell you their story in a moment, but first, it looks like mostly sunny and breezy conditions ahead. Greg is back in the Weather Center with the latest.
Thanks again, Christina, and welcome back, everybody, for our second look at weather. Frontal boundary parked across the northwest Bahamas. Showers and thunderstorms associated with that boundary affecting the islands. Here in the capital, we saw some early showers earlier today. Andros, you had some flare-ups this afternoon, and we continue to see 1 or 2 more showers between the Bimini and the Florida area. That frontal boundary will eventually wash out through the next 24 to 36 hours, but it will remain close enough for us to continue to get some more showers tonight through tomorrow before high pressure builds in thereafter. Boating forecast for the northwest and central Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Your high tide will be at 11:08 tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, your winds will be more east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and your seas running 2 to 4 feet over the open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through next Monday. Frontal boundary eventually washing out through tomorrow, and then we expect the frontal boundary to get near sometime by the end of the week. Back to you, Christina.
Thanks, Greg. Well, their work is said to touch the lives of many, and now 25 Bahamians from all walks of life will join in that work following a 6-week chaplaincy course. In our feature story tonight, our Bethany McDermott tells us that they're also equipped to hit the ground running in the event of another major natural disaster.
After a 6-week course, 25 individuals graduated as certified chaplains with Chaplains International. The organization, which was started in 2006, is in partnership with Samaritan's Purse and the Billy Graham Association and responds to community care and for first response to natural disasters. Representative Bishop Jonathan Carey explains the benefits outside of natural disasters.
Also, when there isn't a disaster, chaplains will work with different institutions through the church, through schools, through the military, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, providing counsel to first responders and their families, like police officers, like doctors and nurses. And so chaplaincy is really ministry outside the four walls of the church.
Carey says the goal is to have certified chaplains on every island in the Bahamas. The course was touted as a timely one as the Bahamas lies in a disaster zone and in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian, which ravaged parts of Abaco and Grand Bahama. Carey also appointing Living Waters Kingdom Ministry senior pastor Apostle Raymond Wells and his wife Olivia Wells as Bahamas superintendents for Chaplains International. Wells says this allows him to better partner in times of disasters.
Now I serve as the Royal Bahamas Defense Force chaplain, so this now put me in a better position. If any disaster, I'm able now to partner with Samaritan Purse and the Billy Graham Association.
Dwight Grant graduated from the program over the weekend. He described it as an intense course and shares one of his highlights.
One of the things for me was it really highlighted how you have to be flexible. You must be able to adjust yourself.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Thanks, Berthany, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.